in my opinion, injectable Winstrol is king, and high dose oral Winstrol for someone who doesn't experience a lot of side effects beats SARMs. But for someone who does have a lot of side effects from Winstrol, SARMs are much more effective than taking a low dose of Winstrol, in my experience. In that situation, notice it's different for every individual. And then the non-hardcore bodybuilder over 8% body fat, in my opinion, SARMs beat Winstrol. I mean, the benefits of SARMs being, 70% of Winstrol, but with none of the side effects. It's like, I would rather have the 70% of the benefits without having the side effects, unless the goal is so important, like winning a high-end bodybuilding competition, that extra 30% benefit is worth the massive amount of potential side effects that come along with it. So my experience is that the visual effect of Winstrol really peaks in about 2 weeks. Yes, it's true. Continue for 3 weeks, you get a little bit more benefit. Continue for a little bit more, but really you notice the visual effect in 2 weeks. I mean, you notice the visual effect within a few days of Winstrol, but like you really get like the law of diminishing returns. It's like a peak. It's like a lot of benefit up to 2 weeks, and then it's like a little bit more benefit to 3 weeks, and a little bit more to 4, and then not much after that. I know there's studies showing that strength increases keep going up with lower dosage of Winstrol for athletes. So if the purpose is using it for strength, and maybe using it for a longer period of time and lower dosage is more advantageous. But for the actual look in the muscle, the definition and the hardness, I think a shorter cycle makes more sense to me. Because the side effects, remember, are accumulated by the combination of the dosage and the time that we're taking it. So I would rather go with a higher dosage for a shorter period of time for the same amount of side effects as a lower dosage for a longer period of time, but with more benefit. So then the toxicity and side effects build over time dosage, just went over that. And what a friend did that had the best effect, I'm saying a friend, in my opinion, I'm just going to read it here. The injectable Winstrol at 50 milligrams per day, 4 days per week. Doesn't have to be taken every day. And the reason why I say 4 days a week and not 7 days a week is because oftentimes Winstrol injections hurt a lot, very painful. So it can oftentimes interfere with training. We usually try to put it into a muscle that we're not going to be, like if we work shoulders, we'll usually inject the Winstrol in the shoulder after the shoulder workout, because we're not going to have to hit shoulders again for a few days. We definitely wouldn't want to shoot it before workout unless you have a really high pain tolerance. And then shooting it before the workout is fantastic, and work it out and create more inflammation in the muscle, not too close to the bodybuilding show, because that inflammation will cause some water retention and stress the body. So injectable, 50 milligrams, 4 days a week. And I could talk about that for an hour, why I chose that dosage, that period of time, but I don't want us to make this an hour-long video. And then oral, this is what a friend does for oral. He does 50 milligrams for week 1, 100 milligrams for week 2, and 150 milligrams for week 3. So he's only using the really high dosage of 150 milligrams for the 3rd week and competing at the end of the 3rd week. So he's going into the show on a really high dosage, but he wasn't on the dosage that long. And because most of the benefits were realized during the first 2 weeks, and he was ramping up, it's just he's getting the most amount of benefit for the least amount of side effects. He's not going to have hardly any side effects from this. He's only on it for 3 weeks. The average dosage is only 100 milligrams, stepping up to the show at 150 milligrams. Now, of course, if someone's entire life is on the line and they're willing to risk everything, and pain doesn't matter and side effects don't matter, of course, those are the people that are doing 200 milligrams up to the show and having to deal with the consequences later. But for most of us, there's that law of diminishing returns where we can get a huge benefit from these compounds with very little side effects. And I'm not saying no side effects. There's going to be side effects from stepping up from 50 to 150 milligrams. But to me, and my health being number one priority, but also my health is also affected by my mental state of mind. And if my goal is to go to the bodybuilding competition, And winning that competition is going to improve my quality of life, not because there's prize money, but because it's a life accomplishment, because I want to get pictures, I want to show my grandchildren, then yes, it's worth a small amount of side effects. I mean, let's say I'm giving up alcohol, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing other things in my life to make up for the fact that I'm taking this compound. See, I'm just trying to put it in perspective. It's not ridiculous to take these compounds. It's a burden on the health, but there's a way to do it in a law of diminishing return where we can get tremendous benefit, look like an awesome bodybuilder on stage with very minimal side effects if we approach it intelligently. Now, again, every individual is different. This protocol might not work for everybody. I'm not recommending you do it at all. I'm giving you something to think about and something to contrast some of the other opinions that are out there on bodybuilding from my perspective, because I know a lot of you are like me, you're bodybuilding nerds. You want to get the most out of these compounds and experiment on the body, but you're not willing to take it all the way to where it compromises your health. And I know that's hypocritical because I compromise my health by doing experiments, but I'm doing that for your personal benefit and for the furtherance of science. I'm not doing it to be reckless. Be swell and swole, friends of freedom, pioneers of human evolution.